morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this very exciting announcement. My name is Goldie Ghamari, and I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Carleton. And it's an honor to be joined by my Ottawa colleague, Minister Lisa MacLeod, and also the Honourable Minister Raymond Cho, Minister of Seniors. And with that, I'm going to pass it along to Minister Cho to make some remarks. And then following that, I'm going to pass it along to Minister MacLeod. Thank you very much, Minister Cho.
Thank you for the introduction, my favorite MPP, Ghamari. I want to also say hello to really hardworking Minister Lisa MacLeod. I'm glad that she's with us. Hello, Minister. And it's my pleasure to meet Jean Martel, Senior Manager, Community Programs and Operation of Rural South Senior Services, and Yeon-Suk Lee, President of Ottawa Korean Evergreen Society. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
A few words in Korean. 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
네,
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
에버그린 소사이티는 한국말로 하면 오타와
상록회. 네.
네. 아이고 축하합니다. Congratulations.
Thank you.
상록회 회원이 얼마나 돼요?
한 거의 100명에 가까워요.
Oh, it's a big organization.
네.
예, 아주 기쁩니다. 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
네, 감사합니다. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
MPP Ghamari, I'd like to say a few words about the importance of seniors community grant.
Thank you, Minister. Please go ahead.
Okay, before I do that, I want to thank you for the tireless work and services that you're providing to everyone in your riding, the Greater Carleton and Ottawa area. You are doing amazing job. Thank you, MPP Ghamari.
Thank
The
you.
people of Carleton should be proud of how hard you are working for them and the leadership that you are providing each and every day in your riding at the Queen's Park as well. Senior community grants are incredibly important, not only for seniors who will benefit directly from this funding, but for everyone in Carleton. These organizations are the glue that keep our Ontario seniors together. They are the heartbeat of our neighborhoods. This funding will help make each organization stronger, and we need these kinds of investment now more than ever. The COVID-19 global pandemic has been difficult for us all. It has also been particularly challenging for Ontario seniors. Seniors organization help us overcome social isolation. They are where we meet people and build lasting relationships. Seniors groups keep our seniors fit, active, healthy, and both physically and mentally. And today, MPP Ghamari, I'm very proud to be here with you to celebrate this marvelous organization and how they are supporting our seniors. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Minister Cho, for joining us. Today is certainly an exciting day for our community and for seniors living here at home in Carleton and across Ottawa. As you mentioned, Minister, the Seniors Community Grant Program enables municipalities and local organizations to deliver programs for Ontario's seniors to stay fit, active, healthy, and socially connected with their communities. Our government is investing $170,000 by supporting 7 projects across Ottawa through the Seniors Community Grants Program. Ontario is committed to investing in seniors and their communities to stay fit, active, healthy, and connected with their communities. I'm pleased to speak a little bit more about the 2 projects in my riding, Rural Ottawa South Support Services and the Ottawa Korean Evergreen Society. However, before I do so, I would like to first introduce the Honourable Minister MacLeod, Minister of Heritage, Tourism, Culture and Sport, to make some remarks and speak about this amazing grant as well. Thank you, Minister.
Listen, thank you so much, Goldie. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you organizing this. You're doing a wonderful job. And I know I can't turn around without seeing you working for the folks at the Osgoode Care Center or the Rideau Osgoode Senior Support Services and so many others. So congratulations and keep up the great work. And I'm just delighted that my really good friend and colleague, Raymond Cho, has joined us today. Minister Cho has been nothing short of an incredible advocate for those with seniors across Ontario and those with accessibility challenges. And his advocacy has been felt across the province because of that work at the cabinet table and being very persuasive with both myself and my other colleagues around that table, but also with the Premier. Him and the Premier are quite good friends, and when Raymond speaks on behalf of seniors, it's hard not to want to make sure that we support him in every single way possible. I want to wish those that are celebrating Lunar New Year, Gang Hei Pat Choi. I'm excited, obviously, to do some in-person and some virtual events as we continue to ease restrictions. And I know the last 2 years have been very tough, particularly for our seniors. Before I just get into some of the matters at hand with these grants, and 2 of which are in Nepean, I did want to say to all of those assembled, I know we have a number of stakeholders here on behalf of our government, myself and Goldie as local members. You know, Ottawa is our home, and yes, it is the seat of Parliament. Yes, it is a nation's capital. But it is also home to the seniors on this call. It's also the home to 1 million residents who live, work, and play here, who raise their families, who work and take the bus to work, or roads and bridges and other modes of transportation. It's where we send our children to school. And I know the last couple of days have been very frightening for my residents in Ottawa. And as the person who's responsible for speaking on behalf of the city at the cabinet table, obviously it concerns our entire city. It also impacts the tourism, hospitality, culture, sport, and recreation sectors. And I wanted to say that I've been monitoring the situation over the past weekend. I've been in constant contact with the Solicitor General, as well as the Chief of Police and the Premier's office and him himself, just monitoring that situation. And I have appealed for the protesters to go home. It's time for our residents to be able to get safely back to work, and for our students who have been, afflicted without being able to go to school for the past number of years. When they finally got to start learning, some of the children in the Corps were then again sent home to work and do their schoolwork at home. And I think in the spirit of getting past COVID-19 and working through that together, I would just again appeal to those protesters. You've made your point. We understand where you're coming from, but it's now time for the city of Ottawa and the residents who live here and call Ottawa home to get back to what they do best. So with that, I also recognize there are a number of seniors who have been impacted by that, and they've been impacted by this entire COVID-19. And that's why I'm really delighted that this grant is going to be making its way at a very organic and grassroots level, not only in Nepean, but throughout the rest of Ottawa as well. And I'm really excited for 2 organizations that I've had the pleasure of working with for the past 16 years to receive these grants. And I think, as you see on the call here today, Ottawa is also a very fast growing, very diverse city. And that's why I think the grants that were made today are really important to bring seniors out of isolation, particularly those in marginalized communities or new Canadian communities who find comfort in staying with their own cultural communities, which is why I'm just really delighted that that we are supporting the Indo-Canadian Community Center and my friend Ken, who's been bringing Indo-Canadian seniors together for many, many years. And for them to be able to get a $25,000 grant to empower and support seniors is really incredible. And I want to thank the Minister for recognizing their hard work and the dedication of Ken and his team. Also, Brad Spooner has been working very hard at the Nepean Rideau Osgoode Community Resource Center for many, many years. And I really am excited for the program that they're bringing older adults together. And I think it couldn't come at a more meaningful time. And I'm looking forward, Goldie, when the pandemic is over, to doing what I used to do when the riding was Nepean Carleton, and maybe we could host it together, but I used to do a couple lunch and learns and bring the seniors together, and I used to make the sandwiches. So I'm looking forward to getting back to those days and working with these organizations in order to support them and bring them back together. And I know I've spoken too long, but I'm really excited because a little bit of money for these not-for-profit organizations goes an incredible way. Government cannot and should not do it alone. And we need great community partners. And Minister Raymond Cho has found a way to get to those seniors in my community and across the rest of the province in order to do that. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you, Goldie, for including me and for organizing this today.
Thank you so much, Minister MacLeod. I look forward to trying out some of those sandwiches. I've heard great things about them. And so with that, I'd also now like to speak a little bit about the grants for some of the organizations in my riding. The first one is Rural Ottawa South Senior Support Services, and I'm pleased to be joined by Jean Martel, who's the Senior Manager of Community Programs and Operations, as well as France Connor, Program Manager for Friendly Voice. And it's really exciting to announce today that our government is providing Ross with $25,000 as part of the senior community grant. And part of this is going to go towards the really important work that Ross is doing. We're investing in Ontario seniors to help address the issue of social isolation during COVID-19. And a Friendly Voice program was started by Ross actually back in 2018, I remember, is when our government first provided funding for this program. And since then, it has just ballooned. It's a program that's not just being used by seniors in Carleton or Ottawa, but my understanding is all across Ontario as well. And it's become almost the model for other organizations to look at. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jean Martel and France Connor to say a few words about this exciting investment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All of us at Rural Ottawa South Support Services couldn't be more excited to receive this grant to support the Friendly Voice telephone line for seniors. The Government of Ontario has been an incredible supporter of our phone line, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to work together through this generous grant to recruit and train the growing number of volunteers required to staff our expanding phone line. We're especially pleased that the Government of Ontario recognizes that a Friendly Voice is an innovative response to the growing crisis on loneliness and isolation with seniors in the province. Thanks to this grant, we will have the capacity to ensure that there is always a warm and caring volunteer available to speak with an Ontario senior who needs a friend. I'd like to pass it over to France, and she will give you some background information on the program itself.
Thank you, Jean, and thank you, Goldie, for having us. So as mentioned, loneliness and isolation can lead to significant physical and health issues among seniors that is very concerning. So like Goldie mentioned, a Friendly Voice was launched in December of 2018 to provide a free, confidential, warm line for older Ontarians, 55 plus, who just want to chat with a friendly person who cares without expectation or judgment. Whether they are struggling with loneliness or simply looking to stay socially healthy and add some connection to their routine, we offer an empathetic ear and good conversation. A Friendly Voice relies on and is powered by trained volunteers, and without them, engaging in friendly conversations we would not be able to provide this service. So our phone line is available 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m.
Thank you very much for that. And I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing how this program continues to grow. I think it's so important, especially for seniors who are isolated in rural areas like here in Carleton. I'd now like to introduce another amazing organization, the Ottawa Korean Evergreen Society, to say a few words. And before I introduce everyone, I just want to say I have a very special place in my heart for nonprofit organizations that support seniors. My mom actually works at one in the York region area. She's been working there for over 10 years now. And that organization, they've branched out and they provide services to seniors from various cultures and in various languages. So my mom is responsible for the Iranian branch of the Wellness and Diversity Program at CHATS, which is a community and community home assistance to seniors. It's a nonprofit in the York region area. And, you know, I used to volunteer there when I was younger. This is well back before I got elected. And, you know, one of the most important feedback that we received, even as a volunteer there, was for a lot of seniors, especially newcomers, there's a language barrier. And so that language barrier adds an extra layer of isolation because it's difficult to get information, or it's difficult to reach out and feel connected to the community because of that gap in language barriers. And so organizations that not just provide services to seniors, but provide services to seniors in their own languages, I think it's critical and it's an important part of our community. And with that, I'm so thrilled to have the Ottawa Korean Evergreen Society here. And they are receiving a grant of $24,700. And with that, I'd like to introduce the president of the Ottawa Korean Evergreen Society, Yoon Suk Lee, Vice President Thomas Rideau, OKS Advisor Jung La Cha, and also the Treasurer Thomas Yu, to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister Cho and MPP Ghamari and MPP MacLeod for supporting our association. We are extremely grateful for receiving this grant. This has been a very difficult time for seniors in our community, but the Seniors Community Grant is helping us pursue creative and engaging activities to help address isolation of older adults in the Ottawa Korean community. By connecting senior members through various programs such as cooking class, physical exercises, visitation, etc., we hope to enhance the spirit of community and promote a healthy and happy winter season. It has also been very important to be able to deliver Korean programs, as you all said. And we've been very welcomed and supported by MPP Ghamari and Minister Cho, Minister MacLeod. Your understanding and recognition of the importance of senior cultural programming really does make a difference to us. So my sincerest thanks to you all. Thank you very much. And,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Programs like A Friendly Voice and a project to address isolation of older adults help keep seniors connected so they don't feel the weight of being alone during this time. We're also providing grants to 3 other organizations in the Ottawa area. There's the Centre Multiservice Francophone de l'Ouest d'Ottawa, Inc., which is receiving $24,270. Jewish Family Services of Ottawa is receiving $23,649, and Old Forge Community Resource Center is receiving $23,509. I think with these investments that our government is making today, it shows that Premier Ford and our entire government is committed to the safety and well-being of Ontario seniors. And we're proud to invest in projects that are helping to meet the needs of seniors in their community. This funding promotes healthy, fit, active, safe activities in our communities, close to home with our neighbors, friends, and family. Today's funding project helps to promote senior health and well-being. Again, I'd like to thank Minister Cho for joining us today. I'd like to thank Minister MacLeod as well for joining us. And I'd like to thank Ross and Korean Evergreen Society for joining us as well. With that concludes our announcement, and we'll now turn to the media if there are any questions.
If anyone has any questions, please use the raise hand function. No questions?
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. This concludes, there's a question in the chat.
Hey, sorry, can you hear me? This is Guy from CBC Ottawa.
Yes.
I wasn't quick enough on the mouse there for the raise hand. Thank you for your time today. I just want to switch back to what Minister MacLeod addressed earlier, which is the ongoing convoy situation in Ottawa. I'm wondering if both MPP Ghamari and the Minister can both take this question. We're day 5 into an ongoing situation, and Minister, you mentioned a few moments ago that it's time for the protesters to leave, and you've appealed to them to do so. But I'm wondering if each of you can speak more specifically on what you would like the City of Ottawa and its police service to do in the next day to facilitate what you want to see happen, which is the protesters leaving. What exactly would you like to see them do? Understanding, of course, this is a difficult situation, but what would you like to see happen?
I just want to first say that I think the City of Ottawa and the Mayor and the police have done a good work. What I think would be more helpful at this particular time is for the federal government to take a proactive approach to listen to the reasonable elements of this to try and de-escalate it. I am not happy that people are clogging our downtown, making it difficult for seniors to get to medical appointments. I'm not happy that law-abiding business owners have been roughed up. I'm not happy that the shelter at the Mission has had to face difficult situations on top of the difficult situations that they already deal with. And I'm not happy that our hoteliers have been harassed and verbally abused. I don't like national symbols being defaced. And I think that all should be called out and condemned. But at the same time, I'm sure that there are many law-abiding citizens that are there, that are reasonable, that shouldn't be painted with that brush. And I really feel that the leadership needs to come from the federal government, which is why those protesters are there. I have incredible faith in the Ottawa Public Police Services, and I know the Mayor is equally as frustrated. I'm asking the protesters to please be reasonable. Understand that there are children that need to go to school in the area. There are seniors that need to go to medical appointments. There are small businesses who only got to start to reopen yesterday that now have to be shut. And there are social services that have seen an increase in their flux. And so I think I would just appeal to all reasonable elements here. And that includes the protesters. It also includes federal government to have a discussion. In the Ontario legislature, we have a motto that Minister Cho and MPP Ghamari and I abide by. It's here the other side. And I'm not saying I agree with the Prime Minister. I'm not saying I agree with the protesters. I'm not saying I disagree with either of them in this particular case. But the only way that this is going to be de-escalated is, in my opinion, watching what I'm seeing, is if there is leadership. And that leadership has to come from the federal government and the municipal, and this goes back to my point. This is not just the federal seat of parliament. It is a city where 1 million people live, work and play, and not all on Parliament Hill. And this has been incredibly taxing. It has children afraid. It has people being harassed verbally. It has people being blocked out of their business. That is not a peaceful protest, but inflaming situations doesn't help either. And I'll leave it at that. And perhaps Goldie has a little bit more to offer.
Thank you, Minister MacLeod. I agree with everything that you're saying. You know, the right to peaceful protest is core to our Canadian identity. It's an important part of democracy. People have the fundamental right to make their voices heard. However, at the same time, the key part here is peaceful protest. And when you have people who are harassing store owners, people who are not following the mask mandate. I heard on the radio today that the Rideau Center is going to remain closed because people back on Saturday were gathering inside in the hundreds and ignoring the mask mandate. And so the mall decided to shut down. Again, I think this is the 5th day now. That decision impacts everyone. It impacts employers. It impacts young people who work there. It impacts people who go to the mall for various reasons. It impacts our entire community. When you have people who are defiling monuments, desecrating statues, that's not right. That's not appropriate. And I don't really think that's peaceful protest. When I heard about what happened to the Terry Fox statue, I was so shocked. I made a statement about it on Twitter on Saturday. Terry Fox is a childhood hero, a Canadian icon, a national treasure. And the way that I responded to that is I decided to make a personal donation to the Terry Fox Foundation as a positive way to honor his legacy. And I think to what Minister MacLeod was saying, as elected officials, it's important to lead by example. The people that are protesting are waiting to hear from the federal government, and it seems that there's currently no leadership. So in terms of de-escalation and protesters leaving, Chief Slowly spoke about that yesterday. And I also want to thank the Ottawa Police for everything that they have done and continue to do to not just de-escalate, but to keep everyone safe. And I think sometimes people forget the hard work that the Ottawa Police do, because when a protest happens and there are no incidents, people say, oh, well, then we didn't really need police presence, did we? But perhaps the reason there were no incidents is because the police were working to de-escalate and to make sure that incidents didn't happen. So obviously, I'm not aware of everything that's going on, and Chief Slowly spoke about that quite extensively yesterday. But I want to thank him, and I want to thank the Ottawa Police and all first responders for everything that they are doing. And I would, my appeal to the protesters is you do have a right to protest, whether or not I agree with the position, but please keep it peaceful, please keep it respectful, because your protest is having the exact opposite effect of what you would like to see. Your protest is extending the lockdown. Your protest is keeping people in their homes. It's keeping seniors isolated. And the message has been received, but please respect the people that are living in Ottawa, because they need to get on with their lives as well. We're all in this together. So that's how I feel about that. Thank you.
Thank you to both of you for that. Just a quick follow-up for the minister. Minister, you talked about the notion of needing leadership on this convoy from the federal government. I'm just wondering if you can spell out more specifically what precisely it is you would like the federal government to do in to bring the ongoing cluster to an end.
Well, obviously, I support vaccine mandates because we have brought that in as a government. I obviously support the masking and social distancing. No sectors have been more hard hit and during this pandemic than the sectors I represent around the cabinet table. And they are now being hit again as a result of this protest. But it seems to me laying the blame at the City of Ottawa is not the appropriate place, because quite frankly, this is where I separate sort of official Ottawa, which is Parliament Hill, from the rest of us who live, work, and play here and raise our children here and retire here. You know, we're the ones that are, you know, dealing with this. And I think, you know, I think that the federal government needs to maybe tone down some of its rhetoric and perhaps, you know, have a conversation with the more reasonable people that are part of this protest. I have a hard time believing that all of them are filled with hateful rhetoric. I think that there has to be a way to tone this down. And these protesters, some of whom are truckers, others who have other agendas, came to our city to deal with the federal government. And they will stay here until the federal government does something. And I don't think it's up to the Ottawa police to take every single protester and get them out of the city. I really feel that the folks that are here to be heard by the federal government. And I think that there needs to be a leadership there. I think they, you know, I'll tell you something. I've been protested a lot in my life. I've had death threats. I've had swastikas put on my campaign lawn signs. I have had police protection for the better part of this 4-year mandate. But I have to tell you, every time that there is a protest at my office and people are angry at whatever, if I'm not there, I ensure that one of my staff goes out and speaks to the organizers, lets them hand us the petition or the letters, assure them of their grievances. We allow, you know, the use of our washroom. It really is how you treat people. And I'm not saying that you need to acquiesce to those elements of society that have transcend upon our city that have been vile, and but there are some hardworking people that I have seen on the clips on TV, and I think to ask those people and just really try and take the temperature down. I have a 16-year-old daughter who was afraid on Friday night of all of this. My partner, my husband, works on Parliament Hill and was yelled at and called a traitor. I have had friends downtown try and help get me to get them to their medical appointments. I've had other friends who've been barred from their workplace. This is becoming very personal for the people of Ottawa. And I don't want to see a police officer hurt when I feel that taking the temperature down in the room is probably the best path forward. But you know, I'll leave it to the federal government to determine those next steps. But I certainly am of the opinion that our civic leadership, through Mayor Watson and his council, are not to be blamed for this.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Minister. Seeing as there are no more questions, that will conclude today's announcement.